race.
I'm not from Cork. Like, that's a Langer accent, not a Kerry accent.
It is. I'm sorry. I can't do a Kerry accent. I'm sorry.
After all your time listening to the Healy Flip and Race, Dave, to be honest with you, you can't do a half-decent Kerry accent. Jesus. I know, I can see the thing. Don't worry about it. This reminds us of the old Zoom days where you start recording, someone would be wafting on and start pretending about some shite.
Yeah, it's always me, isn't
it? Look, it's going to have to be someone, all right?
Yeah,
look,
true.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Monday Night's Mauls, Balls and Alls of the Breakdown. Tonight we have Dave Sheedy yet again joining us. His St. Mary's man, fellow teammate Matt Boland. And of course, our usual lad from the Thursday night host, the only Peter Burke. Now, lads,
all hail Pete.
Would you shut up the lollies, Jesus Christ.
No, we're not much up. Now, lads, I'm going to treat this show like a prop at a bar with butt rake 3 pints. We're going to just tear straight into it, all right? So, Dave, I'll come to you first. Leinster 36, Stormers 12. Leinster's first win over the Stormers at the URC.
Well, I'm delighted they got that win. Because I despise the South African teams. I was kind of in and out of the kitchen. I didn't really see much of him, man. Who was that fullback you had? He seemed like he didn't have a good day at the office. But honestly, it was a good win. I'm delighted they got over it, but I'll be honest with you, I didn't see much of it, and I just didn't bother looking at the highlights. Sorry. I didn't bother. I know Peter told me to spoof my way through it, but I can't, lads. I can't.
Oh, come on, you could put at least one Finn Russell and Manny in the back. Right? Yeah. One time.
Yeah. Look, it's always great to be a South African team, isn't it? Regardless. Yeah. So it's one of the few times I probably will be supporting Leinster when they're playing Saffas or an English team or something like that. But look, as I said, I had a kind of on the background. I kind of checked in now, and it seemed a good performance from what was it, third string squad, second. Yeah. More or less, so comprehensive win against like a pretty fully stacked Stormers. I just kept finding myself looking at that bloody Stormers hooker. I despise that guy. I can't stand him, man.
Who's that?
Long hair, the hooker for the Stormers with the long dreadlocks, the lad that was saying, "Oh, fuck him up" when they got Munster in the final. I can't stand that lad. Every time I see him thrown in, I'm just like, someone please level the guy, will you?
I can't think of his name.
You're better off going above me now for the rest of this, because I'm sure the other two watched it in detail. I didn't, so apologies.
Matt, I'll come to you next anyway. Leinster 36, Stormers 12.
Yeah, it was a great game, and obviously a great result to finally beat the Stormers. But you always got to remember though, when we're playing the Stormers, it seems to be around a time where we don't have a full squad available, where they're off international duty or coming up to Six Nations or whatever. So, and yet again, it's a third string team, but it was great to see Dan Sheehan and James Lowe back, and they linked up really well in that game with 2 tries from Dan Sheehan. It was very, very. The first half was really kind of nitty gritty, because there was only, when halftime came, there was only like 8 points in it, and like Stormers were in the game. They played well. Their scrum was kind of crap. I actually thought Leinster were going to struggle at scrum time against the Stormers, being that it was a full Stormers squad, but they did fucking really well. Jordy Barrett, he's just different gravy. He really is. I think was it the third try he went in where it was skipped out from it was a maul to the line. It was just short of the line and a skip, and he literally grabbed it on his ankles and like diving like Superman across the line. It was unbelievable. But look, Dan Sheehan 2 tries and 2 really good tries, linking up with James Lowe. A couple of other good performances. RG Snyman had a good performance, and I think when Dion Fleury was given out to the ref about the line out, and I think he he didn't want to specifically say it was RG, but RG was winding him up big time at line out, and you could see it was fucking distracting him because he got taken. He was saying it to the ref, and the ref turned around and said, "Well, look, there's no laws against it, so play on, like, you know." So and now go on.
But you go get that sort of shithousery every now and again in the line out there. You go get pushed and stuff and all that sort of crack.
100%. It's look, shithousery is a part of the game, especially as a forward. I mean, lots of shit goes on in the fucking scrum, you know, and it is part of the game, but it's how you react to it. But I think whinging to a ref is typical South African fucking mentality, you know. But it was funny because I can't remember which Stormers got a try. It was the last try of the game, and Snyman was on top of him, and he fucking said something to him. And when he got up, he followed Snyman. Whatever he fucking said to him, he took exception to it, or anyway. But it was good to get a fucking win over the Stormers anyway.
I just want to say hello to Joe Lyons. So then something about can't.
Oh, that's South African. That's Afrikaans.
Yeah,
getting landed people over that.
RG was like Bart, just different class. He was. Peter, your thoughts on the Leinster Stormers game?
Yeah, I thought the Stormers were absolutely fucking muck. Thought they were shite.
You would.
Yeah, no, I did, and we broke our duck against the Stormers. The last 3 meetings we had with them, I think we lost twice and we drew once. I mean, yeah, people said it was a second string team, but I mean, you got to remember that we had Dan Sheehan, James Lowe, Ordy Snyman, Geordie Barrett on the pitch, Ross Byrne as well. Yes, absolutely. It was a good game from a Leinster point of view. I thought their attack, their one-off runners, their pods that they created worked really well in the game. Stormers hadn't an answer, and that furry lad who furry, I don't remember what you call him. Yeah, whatever. Made a fucking ass of himself afterwards when he was giving out about the line out calls and what have you. Would you fuck off, for you? Would you? Jesus, you fucking whining maggot. Like most South Africans are, you know, when they can't blame the ref. So let's. Where will we target our anger because we lost this game? Oh, the calls in the line out. RG Snyman calling the line outs in Afrikaans. Wow. What's illegal about that? Nothing. So shut up, for you, will you, for Christ's sake. But as Matt said, and Dave alluded to, you know, it's always great to beat the South Africans because they just can't take a beating. You know, like...
it was the ref's fault because he was Irish.
Oh, it was the ref's fault, yeah.
Owen Miller put that comment up and I was like, where's this now? And I went straight there, man.
But this is it. Like, yeah, no, you're right. You're right. But like, this is it, though, Danny and gentlemen. The South Africans have to blame someone for their loss. And because the ref, I think the ref did a good job. But so the South Africans couldn't blame the ref. So they had to blame somewhere else, something else. And Furry came out with this bloody idiotic blame on Snyman for calling or slagging them off in the lineouts or whatever it was. But Leinster played well. They had some great attacking form. The low Sheehan link up for the try was superb. Sheehan, great to see him back. And he's in line now to start probably I don't know, but probably against England in the Six Nations, the kick off the Six Nations there next weekend.
His first few lineouts were a bit wobbly though, weren't they?
They were. Oh, you're right, Dave.
Understandable.
Yeah. No. They were a bit wobbly. Yeah, he drew, I think, 2 or 3 crooked lineouts, I think it was. But look, this is him coming back from, what was he? He was 7 months injury, 7 months or something like that.
Yeah, so you go ahead with their rust. Yeah.
Yeah, so anyway, look, good game and delighted with the win. And we got the monkey off our back, beating the Stormers, who I thought were absolutely fucking shite.
Peter, come back to you in this one as well. They said that because of Storm Ewan, the original referee, I think, was supposed to be Brady or someone like that.
Yeah. But and sorry, Danny, I missed my headphones are. What was the question? Sorry, Danny.
I think he's frozen.
Oh, he is frozen. Yeah.
The Heady Rays aren't getting the broadband sorted down there.
No, they're not. I think, gentlemen, was Danny referring to the fact
the
that
Italian ref, yeah,
the Italian ref was supposed to ref it,
yeah,
and Owen Cross came in and he was the referee. So, would the South Africans have something to complain about, Matt?
If they had an African referee, it wouldn't have changed that scoreline.
No.
It was a comprehensive win by a third string Leinster side over full strength, more or less, Stormer side. End of story.
This whole blame, this whole blaming on referees has got to stop. You know, like the referees are out there to do a job, and they're to do the job to the best of their abilities. And like we've said before so many times on this show and on the other show as well, there's so much going on. There's so many rules, so many regulations that referees have to try and follow. They can't see everything. And that's where they need the support of the linesmen and the TMOs. So anybody that blames a referee for winning or losing games shouldn't be watching rugby because they're just fucking idiots.
How many times in that game did Owen Cross actually go looking for assistance? He was pretty much bang on the money for the whole game.
I actually thought, look, I thought he had a great game, you know.
Yeah,
and
he's a really good ref.
There are some top quality refs out there at the moment, and a lot of them are in the URC. And you know, like that.
Yeah.
I can never pronounce his name, Nicky Adamusheli or whatever. He is a fucking
Georgian. Yeah, he's unbelievable.
He's brilliant. And listen, as well, like Holly Davison, she's class as well.
She's a class ref, yeah. And there's sorry, Dave, just before we move on.
El Presidente has spoken.
I'll take out. Hold on. Here's Danny back. Hopefully, hold on 1 sec now, gentlemen. There he is, Danny.
Hey.
Sorry, that's power just flickered there for a minute, and I had to reset the Wi-Fi router, so that's what happened there now.
Be honest, you put some money into the fucking machine, didn't you?
I was just going to say, Danny, Ger Brennan. I'm nothing to say who it was because you don't want the 6'10" monster to batter you next day out. Okay,
that's true. But what I was going to say there, Peter, before I got cut off was. The 10 referees was supposed to come in for the referee that Leinster Stormers game, but it had to be cancelled and you had to get the local referee in instead. But do you think that he was given out about Snyman, taking note of the Hansen suspension recently and the shithousery that was going on there? Do you think he wanted to kind of maybe avoid that referee criticising?
No, I don't. I think Owen Cross did a good job. I don't think the criticism that came in for the who was this? What's your man's name? Who was the ref? What's his name?
Busby.
Yeah.
I don't think that would have resonated with Owen Cross for that particular game. And so it shouldn't. I don't think a referee should be influenced by something that one of their colleagues apparently did or got wrong or anything like that. A referee is there to referee a game for 80 minutes. And I would doubt very much that the repercussions that happened when Mac Hansen had to say what Busby said. I don't think that was a factor. No, not at all. No.
The one other thing I want to ask Matt on this one as well is there seem to be a lot of young lads in that team. You think the likes of Sheehan, Snyman, Lowe, Barrett, Rossburn, do you think they all had a factor in helping to get that win, even though it was a good Stormer side? You think that experience helped out?
Look, you need experience in all teams. You know, like any good team will rotate players between senior players and junior players, and when you have younger players playing, they need to be playing more regularly to get up to the standard that they need to be at. And like Leinster at the weekend, there was lots of young guys there playing. especially McAllen. And I don't think he actually did too bad as fullback, you know. It's fullback's a very tough position, you know, and when you've got the likes of Hugo Keenan starting ahead of you, it's very hard to get a fucking look in. Do you know what I mean? But then you've also got players like Jordy Barrett as well, who could do fullback as well, not a bother. And then, you know, you've got Frawley as well, you know, and you know these guys need game time as well, you know, and no better chance for them to get some game time is when the lads are off playing in the Six Nations or getting ready for or whatever, you know. And Leo is quite good at rotating players, you know, giving everybody a shot. And I think I'd love to know the stats on how many Leinster players play per season. I'd say it's easily in the 40s or 50s. Do you know?
It's about 52, Matt.
There you go. That's fucking phenomenal. That's fucking 5 teams. Like, do you know what I mean?
Yeah. Can I make a comment on Jordy Barrett? Like, this lad.
Yeah.
Who, like we only really kind of, unless you watch Super Rugby, see him playing with the All Blacks, and like he never stood out much to me because of the class players around him. But this fella has come into arguably the top team in Europe and now stood out by a fucking mile. Like I never thought he was this good. He's already paid for himself as far as I'm concerned. I've never ever thought he was that good. The little things he's doing. The aggression to get the ball, to carry, to defend. It's like something I've never seen. I remember, was some young fella, was it Tector came on?
Tector actually played well when he came on.
When he came on, I saw Jordy Barrett talking to him, and I was just like, I'd love to be a fly there and listen to what fucking Barrett's saying to him now. You can see
but this is what they need to do now. They need to learn as much as they possibly can from Jordy Barrett while he's there. Yeah. Because, as Dave's saying, his work rate is fucking phenomenal, you know, and it's all the little bits of things he does, like even that try he scored. Like, I don't think he's played a game for Leinster and not scored a try yet. Do you know what I mean? So, but that try that he took there, the ball was at the bottom of a ruck just before the 20 before the try line, and the ball came out, and they skipped 2 players, and Jordy Barrett was in flight already. And just grabbed the ball and grounded it. Like, I mean,
but you
could see him, Matt, calling for the ball.
Yeah,
100%. But that's the thing. So
sorry, Matt, go on. Finish.
Yeah. No, it's the fact that, like, if he's there, they need to be getting and gaining as much experience and knowledge from him while he's there. You know, because it's like people with brains. Like, if only you could fucking download it onto a USB stick and impart the knowledge, you know. But while he's there, they need to fucking use him and get some of his experience across that backline.
For me, it's just the fact he's standing out so much in a Leinster team that is arguably the Irish team. You know what I mean? And he's standing out so much where it's like, Jesus, there's Barrett again. There's Barrett again. There's Barrett again. You know, it's just... Yeah. What level is this fella playing on? And then we're all under the assumption his brother Bowden was the better one. And what would he be like? Jesus Christ, like, you know, it's just Doug Howlett was phenomenal, you know, for the help of Keith Earls and stuff like that. Barrett's doing it as well, you know.
And that's what we need. Like, when Dougie Howlett was in Munster, he was fucking phenomenal. And when he was there for that period of time, you could see the standard of the Munster lads increasing because they were getting the wealth and knowledge from an All Black. Do you know what I mean? And that's what they need to do with Jordan. You know?
But Matt, I wouldn't mind. But Dougie Howlett was as far as I know, is still the all-time leading All Black try scorer as well.
He is. Yeah.
So coming over with that kind of talent. So Martin Lynch there. Evening all, Saffron's mourning because they lost. If they won, not a word. They played shy, we played okay, but we took our chances. What do you guys think Humphrey's going to come out with tomorrow? Maybe Leinster to lend out more players?
What's that?
I'm not sure. If it's going to work forward.
Anything's possible.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, there's nothing possible in this world.
Yeah.
I think see, one of the issues that Humphreys has and the IRFU have and this is no secret, it's well documented, as well spoken about, is the Leinster Academy, the Leinster school system are producing a glut of players.
It's best out there.
Particularly, I'm not going to say 1 to 8, I'll say 4 to 8 they're producing. Now,
Yeah.
they're also 9 to 15, they have a few good players coming through. Now, what do you do with them? Now, Leinster, as Matt was mentioning earlier, how many players did Leinster use during last season? I think it was 54, 53, something in the 50s anyway. So, like, how do you keep them all happy? You're just simply not going to, is the point. So, if you want a good, healthy Irish national squad, you have to give these players game time. Now, whether that is Leinster shipping them off to Connacht, Ulster or Munster, so be it. Now, we all know if they go overseas to France or Italy, they're not going to play for the Irish team, which I don't particularly agree with. I think that should be rescinded, that particular law or rule or whatever you want to call it. But Leinster do have a problem, in the sense that they are producing so many good quality players that they can't all play for Leinster. They can't all graduate to the senior team from the academy or from the school system. So something has to give. So I would imagine Humphreys will probably maybe make it easier for that transition from for players to go from, or to move from interprovincial teams, to go from Leinster to, or and vice versa, to other provinces. I would imagine, and it's only right. It's only right. Like, these lads want to play rugby, and if there's 10 lads ahead of you for an open side position, and you're not going to get first team game time, why wouldn't you go or want to go to, Connacht or Ulster or Munster?
But do you not think, like, back in the 2000s, like, you had the same amount of schools as you do, and it seems only in the last 5 to 10 years that there's talk of the academy is bursting at the seams with quality players. But I honestly believe a lot of it comes down to politics. When I look at the likes of Dan Goggin, Danny Barnes, and a few others that kind of came up through the Munster Academy and then never kind of came to fruition, I think politics has a lot to do with it as well, about getting selected. So look at Ty Byrne, couldn't get in, you know what I mean? Had to go over to the Scarlets, and then, like, he's the first choice on the Ireland team now because he's that good. And, I don't...
Dave, at the time, he wasn't getting his game, though.
Yeah,
at the time,
I know. So, like,
time and a place.
You have to understand as well, from me being a Munster fan, I don't want fucking Leinster's leftovers either. Like, I mean, Andrew Conway and a few of these, grand, but I don't want Humphreys start, go to Munster, go to Ulster, go to Connacht, and just start flooding us with these players that, like, I believe O'Gara said.
They're good players, Dave. They're good players.
It's not about them being good players. We've got people in our academy as well that we want to bring through. It's like when you bring in the likes of BJ Bota into Munster, he's taken a young fella's position. Like, Bluer there played at the weekend for Munster, and I felt that Kieran Ryan should have been put in, because he's got 2 weeks left and he's going to head off, so they obviously threw him in. So, like, I mean, we have to understand that there's lads in our academies as well that wants to play, and if Humphreys comes down and go, oh no, these Leinster lads are coming down, they're getting first choice, I don't want to see that either over a guy who's grown up in Munster, thought about playing for Munster, and now is not getting his chance because politics and someone got shoved in. I mean, look, there's many ways of arguing this. There's your way, which I'm not, disagreeing with. There's my way, and there's other ways. It's all down to politics, lads.
Okay.
But lads, we'll move on anyway. We'll move on because we still got 3 more games to cover, and we're about close up halfway through the show. Dave, I'll come to you on this one. Munster 38, Dragons 19. Bonus point early in the game, but Dragons needed to fight back a bit. Any thoughts on this?
Yeah, I was kind of hoping you go to the two lads first to see what they'd say. I thought it was a terrible performance. I'm not interested in the score, lads. The Dragons, like an AIL side would have beaten that Dragons team. They were so bad in defense, so bad. Like their drift defense, I think they were using a drift defense because they weren't using a rush defense and they were just leaving holes everywhere. Their scramble defense is non-existent. The minute Munster broke the line, you could see from the camera angle, all the defenders just will stop running. Like, I mean, we talk about Connacht, man, but it must be bloody hard to be from Newport or Gwen supporting that team because they were dog shit. Like Munster's style of play, I'm just not happy with. You know, there'll be people who will look at that game and they'll go, oh, yeah, look, the first half was good. The second half was crap. And they're not really kind of looking into the detail. Like the Munster attack is just like, I played J5 rugby with Matt. We were told, like, take the ball running. Munster are taking every ball at a standing start. Every single time. Their actual broken play is really well. Is very well. It's like the offloads, the kind of support runners, but the initial to get there, like it only seems to happen against like a shit Dragons team, a bad Stad team, and then when you come up against the big boys, like what happened in Northampton, we found it hard to break the line, and we did. We had to kick over, we had to do this. They don't seem to be stretching defenses in the initial attack to create holes. It's only when someone makes a break and then the support play is very good. And then, I mean, you let Dragons in for 3 tries. Like, I know what happened at halftime. We all do. That team went in and just went, that game's done. Take the foot off the gas. Like, the level that Munster wants to be at, Leinster would have put 60, 70 points on that fucking Dragons team.
In the second half.
Yeah. Leinster would have put 60, 70 points. And you have people in the comments having a go at me because I'm moaning, but they don't see the big picture. It's not the scoreline, it's the way we play. The attack is not good enough. I've been saying it for fucking ages. The defense is just like, are they lazy? Are they switched off? They don't seem clued in all the time. And don't get me wrong, there's great things happening with as I said, the broken play and stuff like that. But like the team selection, first of all, pissed me off because like I want to see Ben O'Connor. Like Ben O'Connor is supposed to be this great prospect. He should have been amazing in that game for his ability, but he was fairly average now, I have to say, you know, and I'm a big fan because I want him in there ahead of Haley because I don't see the point in like Kilgallen and Nash are fucking flyers. Daly is a flyer as well, very aggressive. And then they buy Abrahams. But like Abrahams is another level of speed, fair enough. But like, why have all that if you're going to have, and I know he wasn't playing, but Mike Haley a full back. So we need to start bringing Ben O'Connor into more games so he feels more comfortable. Like, I mean, he's great in the under-20s. He was great in the Ireland tour that went to South Africa, or so we hear. It's just the style of play is just, I'm not happy with it. I can't see us competing with the big teams if we're not ruthless. And Munster were not ruthless in the second half. They just sat back. I mean, they're not Dragons in for 3 cheap tries. Fucking, you know, it's just it is concerning, and more concerning is that people kind of only see what's on the TV and go, "Oh, they got a try," and "Oh, they took their foot off." It's like they're not looking at the detail, and I'm really concerned for the rest of the season if that's how we're going to be playing. If we're going to be kind of passive in defense, falling off tackles, and then getting our attack going at a standing start. Like, they have to be coming onto the ball at pace, like, you know. I'd love to know what fucking Mossy Lawler and Mike Prendergast and all these lads are doing. Like, you know, they're there long enough. I mean, we're waiting since 2008 for a cup. People can say the URC all they want. We want Champions Cup, man. That's what we want. And we're not even close. It's
I totally agree.
Yeah,
I'm sorry. I know I went a bit barrage, but it's just it has to be said, you know.
Joe Brennan, I see that's a good comment there, right? Peter, that might be a good comment for the Thursday night show now, Joe Brennan's one. I'm not sure if we'll have time to cover it tonight. Matt Bowen, your thoughts on the Munster Dragons game?
I watched the extended highlights there, and as Dave said, like you can see, you could clearly see the decline in the second half because they were 31-0 up at halftime, you know, and what was the final score? 38-17 or something. To let a really poor Dragons come back like that is inexcusable. Like, as Dave was saying, you could see they were clearly not set up in defence and let in 3 easy tries, whereas, as Dave said again, like if that was Leinster, we would have put 50 or 60 points on them in the second half. But
easy.
I can understand the frustration. I know Dave quite well, played with him for a long, long time. And, I feel and can see his frustration in that Munster team. And there is definitely warning signs there. But, how do you fix it? Like, it comes down to the management again, whatever they're doing or not doing is not working. So they need to try and change something. Whereas, like, when you've got the lads like Byrne and O'Mahony and all the lads that are now kind of not available, they do kind of push on a little bit. But when they're not available, that's when you need the rest of the team, like Leinster. Now, I know Leinster had some of the first team players and Dan Sheehan, blah, blah, coming back, but you need that aggression instilled in the whole squad as a whole, not just your senior players to go on the pitch and fucking give it loads. You want the younger guys. Ben O'Connor is a fantastic player, but I don't think he didn't shine as he could have done. That was a perfect opportunity for him because it was a piss poor Dragon side. Kilgallen, I thought, actually played really well. He took a couple of tries. He's quite fast when you see him go. Like when he gets the chance to run. But as you were saying, like a lot of the attack or the movements from the ruck is just so slow that they're kind of stood still. And yourself, like if you're stood still getting the ball, you're going to get fucking smashed and you're going to get fucking thrown back.
We've already lost half a yard when Coughlin's a quick passer, man. He gets that ball out of the ruck really quick, but because they're not coming onto a pace, and it's not Billy Burns and it's not everyone else, it has to be the coach because they're not saying it to them. And you've already a rush defense like Leinster is on top of us before we even get the ball. And we've seen that in both inter derbies.
And that's the thing. It's coming down to coaching. So, like the whole coaching thing, it's a bit of a nightmare since round 3 was let go or left or whatever happened, but there needs to be something put into place now for Munster going forward, because it's only going to get worse for them as the season goes on, where they start coming up against the big boys, they'll hurt, and look, I'm fully with you on your frustration. Like it's tough to see. As a Leinster fan, we do have I look at all the games. Like I'll cheer on Munster, I'll cheer on Connacht, I'll cheer on Ulster because I want them to do well because it's only good for Ireland anyway. Yeah. But it's very hard to see or pick. You pick 1 or 2 players to go, yeah, okay, they're at the quality for Ireland. But I really want them to step up. Like I do for Connacht and Ulster as well. Like I see those cracks and I don't want them getting bigger. I know everyone's going to call me a negative, unhappy cunt. I don't care. I see the cracks. I don't want them to get bigger against other teams. Like Leinster had a system in place. Half the whole team is missing. New guys come in. The system is still there. The aggression is there. The want to beat the Stormers is there. Munster didn't have that in the second half, and it has to be down to the people above the players. It has to be.
Yeah. Actually, Dave, Mike Sheedy, is he any relation?
No, he's not, but it's a good surname. And do you know what? I love Mike's optimism. No matter what happens, Munster, he'll back him 100%. I love him for that.
Yeah. Peter, your thoughts on the Munster Dragons game?
Fucking Dragons were fucking shite. They really were. The under 16s would have fucking beaten them. They were absolutely fucking brutal. It shows you the state of Welsh rugby at the moment, right? The problem Munster have is they've no natural leader on the park.
100%.
Right? That's a major issue. If Peter O'Mahony and Conor Murray aren't playing, there's no natural leader for Munster on the park. They've some great players. That game against the Dragons, I watched it. It was frustrating at times. I mean, there was 2-3. What was it? Dragons scored 2-3 tries. Was it, Dave?
Tries, yeah, three.
Yeah.
Should never have been scored. They had a good lead at half time, as Matt said, but Munster lack a leader on the pitch. And that's key. Ulster have one, Connacht have one, Leinster have one. Munster don't have a leader on the pitch. Once Palm isn't playing, once Conor Murray isn't playing, they just don't. They're fucking rudderless. They get the job done. Don't get me wrong. Munster get the job done as obviously they did against the Dragons, but they just seem sometimes in some of the phase play and some of the pods that they run, and they're like fucking headless chickens. Some of the time. And
a prime example of that is the line out that Munster got called. You're right. And then the ref said free kick to the Dragons. There you go. You hit the nail on the head.
But that's it. But as you were saying, Dave, I mean, like, it's just like they tend to, like, Munster tend to play for 40, 50 minutes a game. We've spoken about this before. Some teams play for 30 minutes, 40 minutes. Some team, it's an 80-minute game, gentlemen. And you got to do it for that. Munster didn't do it for that. And Munster have been guilty of that in the past, as have Ulster. Ulster, or Jesus, I think Ulster are a fucking 20-minute team at the moment. But that's it. I mean, that's my criticism of Munster is that they don't have a natural leader on the park if their stalwarts are not playing. And that's really Munster's issue at the moment. I
think all the provinces are kind of a little weak in captaincy as well, though. But you're right, specifically Munster, because there's a lot of new captains. Doris is still a new captain. Keane Prendergast is a new captain. They're finding their feet. Yeah. So, but there's we went from a team of 10 captains to none. In fairness, we did.
Yeah. Actually, speaking of Connacht, there now, Dave, and I come to Peter on this one first. Glasgow 22, Connacht 19. Glasgow ended up getting a good lead at the start. Connacht draw it back. But the only thing is, were Connacht unlucky, or was the misfiring part of why they lost?
Connacht misfired badly. I think again. I watched this game. Like, I think a lot of people underestimated Glasgow before that game. Like, Glasgow are a bloody good side. I think there was a thought process amongst an awful lot of people that Connacht were just going to turn up and win this.
Show up.
But for the purists, there was a different kind of mentality for this game. To be honest with you, before the game even kicked off, Danny, I didn't think Connacht were going to win. To be honest with you, I really didn't. Look, Connacht. I don't know what you say about Connacht. They were, James Grennan will kill me for saying this, I thought Connacht were weak in a lot of areas where they should have been stronger. Pillar defence off the Mauls, they didn't defend that. Line out ruck defence was a bit iffy. I think Glasgow took full advantage of that. I thought it was a fair result. I thought Glasgow, in retrospect, deserved to win that. I definitely thought Glasgow were the better team on the day. And Glasgow deserved that win. Connacht they have this thing with them that they just, whatever it is, I don't know what it is about them, but they just tend to not have the final fucking killer punch in some of those games. I don't know what's driving that. Anyway, there you go.
Matt, your thoughts on the Glasgow Connacht game?
Yeah, well, look, I mean, as Peter said, like they showed moments. They showed moments of like hot and cold. So it was like all of a sudden they switched it on and they played well. They scored a couple of good tries, but then they just switched it off immediately and Cardiff were back in it again. I think, as Peter said, like their defense was poor, and especially at the breakdown as well. But then at other times it was okay. So it was really, if I was a Connacht fan, I'd be very frustrated watching that game because they had the ability to do it at certain points and certain aspects of that game, and they performed really well. And then others, you were thinking, fuck, like 2 minutes ago you were grand. What's changed now? And then that's when the floodgates kind of opened. But look, again, it's just is it lack of a leadership on the pitch? Could be a case of that as well. Very tough. I think. I think as Pete said, like people underestimated Glasgow, and I think they did deserve the win, but they only won with 3 points. They could have easily beaten Connacht by more, but like as I said, like when Connacht turned it on, they were in that game, and they could have easily won it as well. Which is even more frustrating, I'd say, for Connacht fans because they have the ability to do it, and I know they're missing a couple of key players as well. Like, but again, this is what has to happen. They need to be able to play and perform as well when their key players are out, because we all know, like, when big games come up for Ireland and Six Nations is turning on, they need to look to the younger lads and they need to be able to perform as well, not just in Leinster but in all the provinces, and until they start doing that, that's when the whole island, 4 provinces get better, but I like, as a Leinster fan watching it, I was frustrated, and I'm only probably half as frustrated as the fucking Connacht fans were, because it was annoying to watch because they were grand. It was like every 5 or 10 minutes they played good. They had a good spell of 5 or 10 minutes, and then they had a bad spell of 5 or 10 minutes, and then they had a good spell of 5. So it's very inconsistent, and again, is it down to the coaches? Is it down to lack of leadership on the pitch, or I don't know? But all these areas need to be covered.
Yeah. Dave, did you see the Connacht game at all on Sunday?
I saw your comments for the first half because I was struggling to find it on the player, and I got the last quarter. Eventually, I finally sorted out whatever it was. Where was that Ioane or Ione fella for Connacht? Is he injured? Yeah,
I think so.
Yeah, right. That explains it. Like, Connacht we're Irish and we're underdogs constantly. So everyone from all the other provinces has Connacht as their second team, and I don't think that's even arguable. We all want Connacht to do well. But I think they're kind of living in rugby 10 years ago, because all teams now are attack and defense minded, whereas before your strategy was either defense, so you lacked on attack, or attack and you lacked on defense. Like, Connacht's attack can be one of the finest in Europe when they get it right, because we saw that against Glasgow. Now, I backed Connacht to win that game because I thought that Glasgow lost too many players to Scotland, so I thought, Connacht haven't lost as many, and the way they're playing, they should, and they should have won that game. Only for the last 20 minutes I saw it, and Jack Carty coming in side of a ruck when Connacht were on the attack looking for a drop goal. What the fuck are you doing, Carty? Like, that was the game there, because Connacht were practically in the 22 and they were going forward. Glasgow were knackered, and Jack Carty, who's only on the pitch about 10 minutes, comes in from the side. It's just like, lad, it's so frustrating. But then I saw a couple of their attacks. That's just phenomenal, man. They just the offloads, they're completely different to Munster, as I said, like coming at pace, taking the ball at pace, making gaps. Like, Connacht are just lovely to watch, but they just, like Pete said, man, they shoot themselves in the foot time and time again. They're great for 5 minutes. They're terrible for 10. They're good for another 2 minutes. They score a try, miss the conversion, miss a penalty. It's a roller coaster of emotion. Like, who would be from Galway or Mayo or anywhere in that province supporting that team? It's just they're, So frustrating. But at least they're not as bad as the Dragons, who are utterly shite. Like they are. I'll say it again. I feel so sorry for the people in Newport and Gwent to have to look at that. You know, but Connacht, man, like it's good to see JJ back. I thought he had an okay game. You know, I've always been a big fan of JJ since his days at Munster, and I tried to follow him over in Northampton Dragons, the other place he went. Good to see him back. Very bad conditions as well. We have to, you know, it's not like silky handling rugby. Like that rain was coming down. I guarantee you, up there, that was fucking cold. That was cold. If you're a winger out there, man, your hands are just freezing. You know, so look, they. I think Peaceroy, I think Glasgow overall deserved to win it, but Connacht had every chance and possibility to win that game, and they didn't again. So,
but then, Mike, or Dave, you're saying there about shit conditions. All the games, the game at the Kingsford or Ravenhill, the conditions there were fucking brutal as well. And now that the result was probably the worst thing. Ulster 14, Zebra 15. Zebra up at 3-0 at halftime. How did you get? Do you see much of the game or highlights?
I didn't see much. I saw the last 15 minutes, I think. As I was saying to you beforehand.
Yeah. Best part of the game.
It's
not the best part of the game.
Like, as I said, I was over in my mate's house having a cup of tea and they had the football on and I was slagging them. Oh, football's fucking crap. I was like, turn on the Ulster game there for a second. We'll get a bit of excitement. 45 minutes and it was 3-0 to Zebra. I was like, you've no comeback then. You know, you've no comeback. So I came home and I got the last 15. Of all the games too. I know. Soccer shit, rugby's great. 3-0, yeah, 40 minutes gone. Shocking. I had a weird inkling because of what Zebra did to Munster at the start of the season, and the Ulster have been so down. Really, they're not like Connacht where they've been up and down. They've been down and they're going lower. And I honestly had a little inkling that Zebra would do this, and then when I saw the 3-0, I was like, Jesus Christ! And then the minute I walked through the door, I think Zebra got their first try, and it's horrible to be an Ulster supporter, man. Like, that's just, this has to be their lowest point now, because I remember when we lost to Zebra and that was our lowest point. It was like, hang on a minute, what the fuck is going on here? And like, maybe El Richie has bitten off more than he can chew, because I mean, he had great success with the under-20s and it just doesn't seem to be working for him, man. Ulster have not in any way, shape or form gotten any way better. You know, I thought you were going to say something there, Danny.
I wouldn't mind, Dave, but no, I wouldn't mind, Dave, but Zebra took the 3-0 lead when they were a man down.
Really?
We did halftime 3-0 up with a man. Yeah, they're a man down time. Yeah, and that's it.
Do you know what that sounds? That sounds like, was it the Bordeaux game, or who they also were playing in 13 and they got hammered?
No, 12 minutes.
12, yeah. Like, I mean,
you were on that show when you were talking about you and Richard.
Yeah, I remember. That is just shocking, man. Like, you know, and then this, like, you think that's a low, but, you know, you can put it down to once off, and then Zebra. This, like, losing to Zebra at home. And there was, like...
Yeah. But I'll tell you another thing, Dave, because I was watching that match. Ulster were actually practically on the Zebra try line at one stage, and they're literally kind of picking and going. Not once did they go out wide, eventually they got turned over, and Zebra just went back down the field again to the Ulster half. Would you consider that a worrying sign that when you're knocking right line to get turned over and then end up defending inside your own 22? Would you consider that a worrying sign?
I'd kind of worry about the mentality there of the forwards, because as we know with forwards like yourself, Danny, everything's a pissing contest.
Yeah.
No, the backs aren't getting it. We'll fucking show them. But like after trying for a couple of minutes, you have to start thinking we're not getting over here to space outside, get it out. Like, but they didn't. So that's very worrying that they're not. They're not punishing. Like, I mean, every team that gets into the 5 meter line should always come away with points. You know, any good coach team should come away with points.
When you're especially when you're right into the line.
Exactly.
Whether it's a back or forward. Matt, the Ulster's ever game, what do you make of it?
I'd be pissed. I'd be fucking pissed if I was an Ulster fan. I really would. It was abysmal. There's no other way of describing that game. Fucking piss poor. I mean, yeah, okay, look, Zebra have gotten better over the years, but if I was a betting man, I'd have put my fucking house on Ulster to beat fucking Zebra in Ravenhill. I'd have put my fucking house on it. Do you know, and as you were saying there, like the forwards were piling on the pressure and got nothing. You know, there has to come a point in time where you pick and go 3, 4, 5 times maybe and go, right, well, this isn't working, let's try something else. You switch to plan B or plan C or whatever, you know, and just get it.
Go
wide, you know, like you're not gonna keep doing the same thing and expecting a different result, like if it's not happening, you know. But like even when Zebra went down to 14, I thought maybe, you know, this might just give fucking Ulster the drive now to just fucking get on and get a couple of scores. But like, fuck, that was a tough watch. It really was. And I don't know what was more. Sorry, Danny, go on.
No, but you're saying there about trying stuff repeatedly and not working out. For 3 lineouts, Ulster went down the blind side. And each time they got stopped right in their tracks, including one of them, which was nearly a try.
But that's what I mean.
Fair enough. You try that maybe twice, and it doesn't work.
Maybe a third time.
Yeah.
Like maybe a third time. But
I know what that's what you're saying. But you think
you switch it up 100%. You know, but like I suppose more frustrating really was the last 20 minutes of that game. The last 15, 20 minutes, Ulster got 2 fucking tries and we're back in it. And they should have won. They had ample opportunity to drop over on the 22. They were fucking on the 22 for about 5 minutes. Didn't think to take a drop goal. Like fucking most able kickers would split the posts on a drop goal from that range. Split the posts. Yeah. But yet they went that one phase too far. They weren't going anywhere. They were on that 22 for about 2 or 3 minutes, a couple of phases, and then all of a sudden fucking turned over, and that was it, game over. It was just like that just summed it up for me, because they actually had the win into that game for that last 15, 20 minutes. You know, they should have won it. They should have fucking seen out that win. They should have stolen it from Zebra, which would have been an absolute killer for them, because I think they put their heart and soul into winning that game. And fair fucks to them, like, but I'd be fucking vinegar if I was an Ulster fan. I really would.
Can I ask a quick question before you go to Peter?
Yeah.
Do you remember?
Go there.
Okay, I'll go with it. I thought Danny said something there. Do you remember the Ulster Toulouse game up in Ravenhill in the Heineken Cup, where Ulster were leading at halftime and they had to beat Toulouse and they let Toulouse win that game?
Yeah.
Do you all remember that one? Yeah. Is there much of a change in personnel since that team? I think that was two, maybe 3 years ago to now. Is there much of a change in personnel? Do anyone know? I don't follow Ulster closely enough.
A few, but it wouldn't be a huge change.
Yeah, you won't be. There weren't huge changes. There might have been a couple of players. Kitsoff might have left.
He was shit anyway.
Burns left.
He doesn't even deserve a mention, that lad.
Yeah. There's no whole pile of personnel changes in Ulster that time.
Yeah, so if we're looking back at history with Ulster over the last 2-3 years, it seems to be an attitude thing then.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
So that's the only point to kind of draw from that.
I think that has to be the lowest now. That has to be the lowest this team is now, and it can only be period, you know.
Yeah,
Perky.
especially concerned their win over Exeter the previous week as well.
What?
Yeah.
You're up.
Peter, I'll come to you now. Ulster Zebra, your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I should have nailed my fucking bits to a burning piece of fucking wood than watch that fucking shite that was on.
It's been the same sentence for all 3 games now.
It's
Fucking shite.
Ulster are
they're fucking bollocks, lads. Good night. Good night.
Ulster were fucking rubbish. Absolutely fucking rubbish. They couldn't put a fucking play together. They couldn't do anything. They couldn't fucking defend. Zebra are second from the bottom. Second from the fucking bottom. They've gone on a losing streak, I think, of about fucking 28, 30 fucking games. They turn up in fucking Ravenhill. Away, yeah. And they turn up on Ravenhill and they beat Ulster. What the absolute fuck is going on there? You know, like, geez, I was watching the game and I was going, is this fucking Ulster or is this the fucking under 10s fucking playing here? What the fuck is going on here? Like, Ulster just devoid of ideas, devoid of attacking ideas as well. Richie Murphy, he came out afterwards and said that, you know, it was a dark day for Ulster, blah, 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 the usual fucking press spin on this sort of fucking shit.
Yeah.
It was brutal. It was fucking shocking. I mean, like, these lads, those Ulster lads are getting paid to play like that. And you're going, what the fuck is going on here? Like, people said that Ulster should have won that game. I disagree. Ulster should not have won that game. And thankfully they didn't, because they played fucking shit. Right? Ulster deserved nothing out of that game. Nothing out of that game. Yeah. Right? Because they were fucking brutal. And if you go on to the Ulster Rugby Facebook page, you'll see the comments that are echoing what I'm saying. People brave the weather. You know, people saying, I went out and I got fucking pissed on for this shit. I'm quoting. You know, all this sort of stuff. Like, Ulster were rubbish. They were absolutely rubbish. No wonder they've not one of their players is on the central contract list. Because whatever they're doing up in Ulster, with their academy players, with the players they're bringing through, they're fucking losing a battle there, because they were absolutely rubbish. Absolutely rubbish. They really were.
Yeah.
How can
Now, Peter, what I was going to ask you was, if you're the head coach of Ulster, in that dressing room after a game, what would have been said?
I want to tell them all to fuck off and leave me alone.
How can Richie Murphy get an under-20s team?
No, hold on. They were a fucking disgrace to the game. Put it that way. They were a disgrace to the game and themselves. They really were. I would have no bones about saying that.
As Richard Holland said a couple of weeks ago, would the paint have been coming off the walls in the dressing room if you're in there?
I would have been fucking throwing shit around that dressing room, knocking heads off the wall. And
how can Richie Murphy get that under-20s team playing so well in beautiful attacking rugby, and we're not even seeing signs of that with Ulster?
No,
not even
you're right. I've no idea.
That's what I can't understand.
Yeah. That's a great comment there by John Healy.
Yeah,
that was a perfect one. Right? Yeah, I think he's echoing your point there, Dave, from that one. All right, about how they're playing rugby. But Matt, if you're head coach of Ulster after that game, what would have been said in the dressing room?
I tell you, I would have been screaming so much, my fucking blood pressure would have, my blood would have pissed out of my fucking eyeballs, because I'd been that fucking furious. Do you know, like, what, like, It'd be a fucking Michael Cheika thing where you'd go in and fucking have heart failure in the fucking dressing room, fucking screaming.
I disagree with you there, Matt. I'd say it's more like, do you remember the way your parents always screamed and roared at you when you were a kid when you pissed them off, and then when you really pissed them off, they said,
I'm
they were
disappointed.
quiet and they were just, I'm disappointed.
Yeah.
That's the fucking. That's why I say Richie Murphy did it. Say he walked in, looked at them, and just went, "You're all a bunch of fucking."
But as we've said before here, there's only so much the coach can do. It's the players on the pitch.
Yeah, but it's the staff that he's supposed to be managing as well. Like who I know nothing about the Ulster setup, but who is the attack coach? Who is the defense coach? Who is the video analysis? Who are these guys? They're clearly not doing their job. Like, you know, Richie Murphy's job is to manage them, to get the team going. Yeah, you know. Yeah. So I can't understand the under-20s are so good, and then as I said, we're not even seeing the slightest shred of sign of that
there's something, Dave, you're right. There's something not quite clicking in that setup. Yeah. You know, Richie Murphy is there. He's there 2 years or something, or whatever it is, 2 years. There's something not quite clicking.
He's here about a year.
About a year, is it? All right. Yeah. So, but there's something in the backroom staff at Ulster. There's something just not right. Yeah. I don't know what it is. But there's something not quite getting there.
It's like there's a missing link between the coaches and the players.
Yeah.
Do you know? So they're not whatever it is, like whatever, they're obviously training and they're doing their drills and they're doing their attack plays and they're doing their defensive plays and all that jazz, and something's happening in between. By the time they come out of the fucking dressing room and onto the pitch, it's as if they're changing things, or what they practice isn't coming through, or they're just not, that message just isn't coming down through into the team. So, you know, you can't blame the players, you can't just blame the coach, you have to blame them all. Like they're all Ulster rugby, you know, and unfortunately you can't just pinpoint one person to go, it's your
and Matt, they have some great players. Nick Timoney,
they have.
You know, I don't know what's going to do.
You're right. Wilson is the best prospect. He's the best prospect of a tight head we have in the country, as far as I'm concerned. And did I see him walking off injured or something?
Yeah, he went off injured.
Fucking terrible. Yeah. Like, I mean, El Presidente here makes a good point of the under-20s playing for future contracts. But my point is the actual shape of the attack, not the people doing it, the shape of it. And it just doesn't seem to be there with Ulster.
Yeah.
That's the problem, yeah. And the conference gone wrong anyway. You just can't seem to finish out the game. But lads, I suppose we'll finish it up for tonight. We have our games covered. It'll be the Six Nations now. We'll be covered now next Monday night anyway. So Peter, Matt, Dave, I will see you lads. Take care. And until next time, lads.
God bless.
All right.
Always a pleasure. Always a pleasure.
Thanks, lads. See you later.